Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and today I am driving a 2019 Maserati Ghibli Gran Lusso SQ4 Edizione Nobile. And that is the only time you're going to be hearing me say that full name. Up front is a 3.0-liter twin-turbo V6, and down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this vehicle because I've only driven one other Maserati here on the channel, and I'll link that video at the end. But the second reason is that this vehicle is a 1 of 50 edition. So the Edizione Nobile, I don't know how to say it, that's how I'm just gonna say it, was a 1 of 50 car. They only made 50 of them in this configuration, but they made 50 of each model. So it's an incredibly rare car. It's very, very cool, and I'm excited to be behind the wheel of another Maserati. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that 3.0-liter twin-turbo V6 under the hood, making 424 horsepower. That is one of the crown jewels in the Ghibli, and boy is it a good one. 424 horsepower in a vehicle like this is absolutely sensational, and I've really enjoyed my driving time with it. And as my talking point is going to be moving forward, this engine was designed by Maserati but built in the Ferrari factory. This is a Ferrari-built engine, which is just the coolest thing in the world for me to tell you guys. Like I said, paired to it is an 8-speed automatic. It is a ZF transmission, a German transmission. And Stellantis, who is the overall owner of Maserati these days, they've had a pretty good relationship with ZF in the last years with the Dodge Hellcats and things like that, and I've always adored ZF transmissions. They're very, very good. They're very good at what they do, and I'm happy to see that. Last but not least, this is the SQ4, which does mean that it is all-wheel drive. However, you can find Ghiblis in rear-wheel drive, just not in this special edition. How does it feel to drive the 2019 Maserati Ghibli Edizione Nobile? It's really good. I mean, the touch points in here are wonderful. That's to be expected, but the power is great. The sound that the Maserati makes is second to none. And it feels very, very refined. It doesn't feel chopped together, and I really enjoy that. Visibility isn't great, but in a vehicle like this, I don't really expect it to be, and so I can't complain too much. So with that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 2 physical gauges and a screen. Off to the left is my speedometer, off to the right is my tachometer, and then in the center is that gauge cluster screen. In the interior, this is where you're really gonna start to notice the Stellantis influence because these graphics are very similar to Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge products. I'll swipe through a couple of things here on the screen. I will say the screen is very high resolution. It has plenty of different colors in it, which I always look for in terms of interior quality, and I really like it. I have to say that it actually is a pretty well functioning screen. On the steering wheel, on the left, we do have our adaptive cruise options, and off to the right, we have our selectors and voice commands, and around the back, we have skip track and volume buttons, like most Stellantis products have. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, headlight switch, gauge dimmer switch, and start button. Again, a lot of this stuff is going to look rather familiar. And moving on to the door, we have 2 different memory seat options. Our Bowers & Wilkins sound system, absolutely love that. A nice wood accent, and then we have our power mirror, power window, and power lock buttons. Moving into the center, we do get a little oval Maserati clock with the little trident on it. Absolutely love this interior feature. And then we have our infotainment system. So I do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Here's the thing. I like how it looks. I'm a decent fan of how it operates, but I just don't love that I absolutely have to rely on it for simple tasks, like some of the climate, some of the vehicle controls, like the rear sunshade is only controlled through the screen. I'm a big fan of physical controls, and the Maserati Ghibli doesn't always give that to me, which I would have liked to have seen. Here's the backup camera in case you were curious of the Maserati Ghibli long name, and we do get a nice Ghibli badge down below. Then we do have physical buttons for our climate controls. I love that it retains this. Not all Stellantis products do. We have dual zone climate, fan speed in the center, things like that. Then we do have a little opening cubby that has the aux, USB-A, and SD card in it. And then moving into the center. Off to the left, we do have the shifter. It's kind of unique shifter. It has this little button behind the back, like a fighter jet stick. Forward for reverse, back for drive. Park is its own button, things like that. And it has a nice little Maserati badge down below. Then off to the left, we have our traction control, automatic start stop, on and off, and then our ice and sport mode. Now you might be thinking that ice is for cold weather driving, and yes, it will be used for that, but it actually stands for increased control and efficiency. So on a day like today, I am having it in ice mode for this talking portion, but otherwise sport mode really wakes up the exhaust, and that is a beautiful, beautiful thing for anyone with ears. Then we have our power parking brake and our selector down below. This can be used instead of the touch screen, and I like that they give you that option. Off to the right, however, we do have cup holders, and on Maserati's website, they said that this special edition gets oversized cup holders. So we'll do a big freaking bottle test with that in mind, and unfortunately, the Italian idea of oversized still isn't big enough for my big friggin' bottle. Then down below, we get the beautiful badge that says Edizione Nobile, 1 of 50. Now, I really wish I knew which 1 of 50 that I'm in, like a number designation, but I don't get that. I'm sure you can figure that out from the VIN, but very cool to see that nevertheless. Then we do get an openable cubby and an openable center console. I like how you can cover all your stuff up if you want, or you can keep it out if you want. And then we'll talk about the seats. Now, the seats are very special here for this special edition, and they're normally found in the V8 Ghibli. However, they actually brought them in for this special edition. This is a special interior color as well. So very nice to see that. They are very comfortable. They are heated and ventilated, power and memory. Lovely to see all of that. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2019 Maserati Ghibli Special Edition. And a couple of things to note. First of all, not all of the space that I would really want back here, although my seat is back a little bit, but still not as spacious as I would have thought. However, that being said, the seats are pretty deep buckets. You really do sink down into them, which is pretty nice. I have Bowers & Wilkins speakers on the doors. I have my own lock and unlock. Back here, kind of interesting. And I have 2 climate vents, heated seats, and I get physical buttons for the rear sunshade back here. So up front, it's all controlled through the screen, but back here, I actually get a physical button because they didn't want to put a screen back here, which makes a lot of sense. Push of the button right back down. Love to see that. In the center here, I get 2 more cup holders and some storage cubby space. And overall, pretty simple back seat beyond that, but I would say that that's quite a few good features back here in the Maserati Ghibli. Let's hop into the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so on the key fob, we can tap it twice, and it will power up. Very cool. And as you can see, the trunk is deep, but it's not very tall. And the owner, Rex, has had issues fitting tall items in here. That's why he's thinking of switching back to an SUV. But that is the trunk space. I do get a 12-volt outlet over here as it's starting to rain more now. Very cool. Push of the button, it is a motorized trunk, which is always nice to see on a sedan. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and this is finished in blue Nobile, which is, of course, special for this car. 1 of 50 made, and all of the Nobile editions were in this color, no matter the model that you got, so it's really cool. You can always spot them in traffic and whatnot. And I think overall, the Ghibli is a pretty attractive car. I think it looks pretty good. Is it the most modern-looking car? No, but it has a little bit of that timeless classic feeling to it, and I'm really happy to see that. Overall, I love seeing the big silver Maserati brakes under there, and that feeds into my final thoughts. So what do I think driving the 2019 Maserati Ghibli Edizione Nobile? I like it a lot. I like it a lot more than I should. As a car person, as a reviewer, I am told that I should be scared of these cars and I should never ever buy a Maserati. I should stay away from them like the plague. They're maintenance nightmares. And so yes, this car has required a little bit of maintenance. Maseratis in the modern era are not reliable. Or at least that's what people have always said and told me. I should stay away. They're too much harm for good. However, I'm starting to fall for it. From where I'm sitting and when I'm not footing the bill, this car is lovely. I mean, it sounds amazing, and at parties you get to say, you know, that V6 is a Ferrari V6. I basically have a four-door Ferrari. And you wouldn't be wrong. You wouldn't be lying. It's not like when I tell people I'm 6'5" and they go, you're clearly not. And I go, yeah, you're right. This was built in the Ferrari factory by the Ferrari engineers. It looks good. The interior feels really, really nice. The wood accents I love, the brown trimmed leather, the analog clock makes me feel special. There are a couple points in here where I'm like, yeah, that's Stellantis, and it sort of pulls me out of my delusion, but don't worry, once I put my foot down, I'm right back into that Maserati delusion, baby. And so I was told, I was bred, I was taught to hate this brand, and yet driving one, I can't find a reason why. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Rex for letting me take out his Maserati Ghibli. Rex is absolutely awesome, such a down-to-earth guy. But also, he has started the Chicago Exotics page and group. So if you're in the Chicagoland area and you love exotic cars and events and meets and cruises, definitely go check that stuff out. It'll be linked in the description below, but I cannot thank Rex enough. This has been quite the eye-opening Maserati experience, and I'm very, very appreciative. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.